Welcome back, everyone, to another reaction video. Well, you ever wondered who's really responsible for starting the Cold War? This decades-long, what we would call a cold conflict, where there's not an active war happening directly between the Soviet Union and the United States and their allies, but rather has a bunch of proxy wars, plus a bunch of arms races, plus a bunch of other factors like the space race. That's all a big part of this massive global maneuvering that goes on from the aftermath of the Second World War up until the 1990s. And so MrSpherical actually did a video about a year ago called Who Started the Cold War? So I thought this would be a really interesting and unique lens through which to view one of the most important parts of 20th century history, something I myself got to live through the tail end of, and I remember vividly some of the things about how the Cold War came to an end. So I think this will be interesting. I'll put the link down in the description. I also want to tell you about something. Check out the shirt I'm wearing today. So this is actually kind of like a metal, like almost like a band style shirt of Ulysses S. Grant. And that was one of 7 shirts that were sent to me by History Metal Merch. And that's what he does. He takes like presidents and different things like that and makes these really cool designs. And he sent me 7 of these shirts. I didn't ask him to do that. He reached out to me and said, hey, I'd love to send these to you. He didn't ask me to like get on and mention anything on the channel, but I figured it's the least I could do that he sent me 7 shirts that are really cool, and I had to wear the Grant one first. So I'm actually going to put a link down in the description as well for that, for History Metal, METAL, merch.com, which is where you can check these shirts out, and I'll probably be wearing more of them in future videos, so you can check those out too. Let's dive into this one.
Alright, this is it! Now we just made up with our friend, the Soviet Union, and end this hot war! And all wars forever! And that's a bit optimistic. There's always someone looking for a war, even if it's served cold. Oh, please! Oh, anything but the face! Oh. All right, you Nazi! Oh, man, we missed all the fun! Fear not, allies! Everything is under control.
So by the time you get to 1945, at least on the side of the Allies, everybody knows how the war's ultimately going to end up as far as which side's going to win. So you're already thinking about the post-war world. You're already thinking about what comes next. And that's one of the reasons why it was so important for Normandy to succeed. People like to argue about whether or not the D-Day invasions had any impact on the ultimate outcome of the war. And I think it's safe to agree that it didn't ultimately have a direct impact on whether Germany won or lost. It had a huge impact on the post-war world, and that's what everybody was thinking about. They're thinking about, okay, right now the enemy of my enemy is my friend, meaning the Soviet Union. They're not really allies with the French and the British and the Americans and the other allies, but they're fighting on the same side. But everybody knows once the war's over, they're not necessarily going to be on the same side anymore, so they're all thinking about how do we position ourselves in the best, most advantageous position for after the war.
Nazis? Defeated. Not enough, not enough. We have to disarm him for good. Do you guys want World War III? Yes. Too many lives have been lost. I can't believe I'm saying this, but agreed. We'll all ensure Germany remains a zero-gun nation. Oh, hello.
It just turned over and got the new flag.
Okay, step 2. We need to heal Germany. Heal? Yes. Last time we left Germany in ruins. We got sequel to World War I. Valid point. What you say we split it between the 4 of us like this? Yeah.
And it wasn't just Germany. They also split Austria in the same way.
So I get Berlin? I didn't think that through. We can have it in your territory, but
Also split
govern
up.
it together? Sure thing, comrade. All in favor? Aye. I may have some reservations. Awesome. We'll call ourselves the Allied Control Council, and we'll be the coolest club in the world. Right! We can work together. No more near-world-ending wars. Keep everything chill. Sure.
Japan. It's kind of strange to think about, but it's absolutely true. You really had two distinct wars going on, but you had largely the same people fighting against each of those powers independently. And so all of this is going on. They're deciding the future of Europe. They're already setting up the Nuremberg trials, and they're deciding what to do with post-war Germany, while Japan's not defeated yet.
Have to go do one teeny tiny thing. Oh, be right back, guys. Where is he? Domo arigato, America.
Domo arigato, America.
My humble country. How'd you like that, huh?
And let's not forget that by the time these bombs are being dropped, the Soviet Union has entered the war against Japan. It was part of the agreement that they made in sitting down to have a discussion about post-war Europe. They also agreed that 90 days after the end of the war in Europe, the Soviets would enter the war against Japan.
Getting snake
I think it was 90 days.
Oppenheimer, huh?
Yeah, that sounds
Come
right.
at me, bro. Oh, damn it! I've fallen behind. Oh man, am I glad I surrendered when I did. All right, guys, time to rebuild Europe. Hooray!
So George C. Marshall was the chief of staff of the U.S. Army during the Second World War. He was also an instrumental part of American planning during the First World War. He was on the staff for John J. Pershing. I think he was actually technically part of the 1st Infantry Division. But he's on the staff of Pershing, and he does a lot of the planning for the Saint-Mihiel and Meuse-Argonne offensives for Pershing, and does a tremendous job with the logistics of all of that, which really sets him up perfectly to be the chief of staff for the Americans in World War II. Afterwards, he is going to become Secretary of State, and he's going to be very involved in the diplomatic efforts and the Marshall Plan, things to help build up the the Western Allies part of post-war Germany. The Molotov Plan. And Molotov is the Soviet Foreign Secretary.
Czechoslovakia, I'm so glad you've chosen communism.
Chosen.
And we've become friends. Yeah, the future, it looks bright. Bright red. Communistic spin. I mean, unity is going strong. Excellent. This will be properly distributed. Just be sure you meet your quotas. What is he up to? We need to have a meeting now.
Allied Control Council hideout.
Damn it! It didn't even cross my mind Soviet Union would communistificate everyone in Eastern Europe. It didn't?
I was going to say, Winston Churchill gave the Iron Curtain speech in 1946. It was definitely on everybody's minds at that time.
Interesting. Thought that'd be kind of obvious. Oui. Maps and notice we are influencing Western Europe with your money. Not the same! We're doing it to promote capitalism. And
When you have something like the Second World War where everyone's efforts are so hyper-focused on one thing, which is the war effort, a lot of other things go undealt with. Same thing happened in the First World War, and in the toward the end of the First World War, you start having a lot of social upheaval in countries where they're going to have dramatic changes in government, and that includes some of the ones on the victorious side. you have dramatic shifts in the direction that the country goes afterwards. And the same kind of thing's happening here. You have all these nations that were kind of caught in the middle of the Second World War that were either dominated by Nazi Germany or by the Soviets, or they were conquered by the Allies. And in the post-war world, there's this vacuum that exists, and somebody's going to fill those vacuums. And it's different people in different places.
Democracy. That's kind of implied, mon ami. Well, we need to contain him. Prevent him from expanding.
There you go.
Look, I know you've got trauma from the old Japan Pearl Harbor thing. I know you don't trust anyone, but do I need to remind you about Nazis, France?
The idea of containment, which is going to dominate the early part of the Cold War, was, in a lot of ways, I see parallels to that in what was happening in the United States in the 1840s, 1850s into the American Civil War, which was the idea that while we can't necessarily stop slavery where it already exists, we can contain it from spreading to new territories and new states. The idea being that if it couldn't continue to grow, it would eventually die out. And the same thing was true with communism. Well, we're not going to invade the Soviet Union and overthrow communism there, but we are going to do our best to contain it where it already exists and not allow it to spread to new places like Vietnam, Korea, Central America.
Yeah. We need to contain the Soviet Union. Okay, I hear you guys, but how will we stop him? We'll unite our occupation zones in Germany. One West Germany with one sexy new currency. Ooh, sounds very awesome. Except the part where the Soviet Union will hate it. Hate what? The Nazi red. You know, the color they used for their flag. Yes, the tone. Oh, not like your red, c'est magnifique. Oh, stop it, you guys! Oh, you're making me red. Oh. Okay, well, guess I'll head home. Good night, fellas. Oh, good night, buddy. Good night. My red's better.
Everybody's wearing black.
Capitalism time. Psst. Psst. Hey, you. Oh, hello, suspicious-looking animal. Tell everyone there's new money in town. Buy all the things. Whoa! I do love buying things. Thanks, suspiciously American-sounding stranger. America! What are... Is that money? Oh... Yeah, it is. Want some? I don't want your dirty money. You know that. Oh, right. Forgot you and your friends exchange rubles and resources like cute little lovebirds. You did this because I have friends? France! UK! What are you doing here? Oh, just out for a stroll. You're all in on this? But if you share a currency, are you all combining your German occupation zones? What? Oh, no, no. We're just, okay, we totally out.
And of course, the viewpoint in West Germany was not that it was West Germany, it was that it was Germany. And it was actually the eastern part that was not a part of Germany.
I just can't with you guys! Yeah, well, we can't with you! Mine! Mine! Let's go, Germany! Screw that guy! Ooh,
it's kind of like how Taiwan considers itself to be the legitimate government of Taiwan. You don't have them identifying as East and West Germany. You have them both saying, we're the real Germany, and the other one's the fraud. The other one is the fraud that's just supported by the fraudulent governments of these other countries.
Mayor, did the temperature just drop suddenly? That freaking guy, ugh! I think we screwed up. Maybe we shouldn't have done that. Let's go talk to him. I'm sure we can work something out. I'll bring a bottle of wine. You want to combine your zones? Fine. But Berlin is mine. And I will no longer let anyone in or out of the entire city. We were going to apologize. Too late. You want to surround me with more capitalism? Fine. Now Berlin is surrounded by communism.
Yep.
You're the one trying to expand and take over the world. I bet you're planning a sneak attack as we speak. This is the only guy with the nukes. Yeah, you're right. I do have nukes. So maybe I'll just take my nukes and... Whoa, guys. Let's all just take
in 49, the Soviets got their own nukes.
a breath. I agree. And you go take that breath somewhere else. Oh, I'll take a breath. I'll take the biggest breath ever. We need to form a new team. What about Soviet Union's Berlin blockade thing? Isn't that a problem? No. I'll just airdrop a bunch of care packages to the city until he gives in. I guess some of us can spare no expense. Of course I can. I'm America. Belgium, I need your phone. Also, you're joining our new team. Oh, what's the team for? To stop the red thread of communism. This is going to be a thing with you for a while, isn't it? Hello, America. Why are you calling me from next door? We're forming a new team, Netherlands. A united front against communism. You son of a Brit, I'm in.
You son of a Brit. I love it. Portugal, Italy, all the Scandinavian countries.
Well, that's done. We've now formed the... Did someone say red threat? Not you, Canada! Oh, God, whatever. You can join too, I
NATO.
guess. Thanks, eh? Oh, what are we doing? We're forming the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. My friends call me NATO. Whatever, just get in the corner. God. Now, with all of us aligned, we don't have to worry about...
Warsaw Pact.
What do you want, Soviet Union? Nothing, old comrade.
So you can get the gist of what's happening here. When we say who started the Cold War, there's no easy answer to that. It's obviously an escalation that happens, as most things are. They start out here. One side says, well, we're going to go up here. And then the other side says, well, I need to go there. Well, maybe even go up here. And then, oh, I need to get up there. And it happens with the arms race. It happens with the space race. Everybody's trying to outdo one another. Oh, you've got NATO? All right, well, we're going to have the Warsaw Pact. Oh, you've got those countries? Well, I'm going to need my own countries. And on and on and on it goes.
Just wanted to say hi, for old time's sake. I call bull. You're up to something. Oh, you got me. Check this out.
Yep.
I can nuke now too! You're a madman. You're bringing West Germany into your NATO, rearming him. Hypocrite! But maybe I'll form my own team. What will we do? Does this mean war? No. We'll play it cool. See where this goes, but we'll spy on them. Watch their every single move. And
which was already happening, and one of the reasons why the Soviets were able to develop nuclear weapons is because they had an incredibly intricate and effective spy network already. They had a spy in all sorts of things, even during the Second World War, when we were on the same team. But you know what? The Americans were also spying on the Brits were spying on the French. I mean, everybody was spying on everybody.
If they do anything with their nukes, then I'll fire my nukes. And we'll all just freaking nuke each other.
Mutually assured destruction.
Are we going to die? Oh, probably.
So yeah, it was a pretty simplified deal, but that gives you the gist of what was happening from 1945 up to about 1950 or so, with everything that went down. And then of course it escalates, and you have Korea, the first big battleground of the Cold War. And that's very much a hot war, but you don't directly have U.S. and Soviet troops fighting each other. You do have a lot of Soviet support, and you have Chinese troops on the ground. And then, of course, it goes to Vietnam, and you have Cuba and the missile crisis in the 1960s, and all the way on and on it goes. So let me know your thoughts about all of that. Use the comment section below. Definitely check out the link in the description if you want to see some of the History Metal merch for yourself. Thanks for watching.